It's up, guys. Hello and welcome. Here you are once again to the Seneca 2D live stream. Folks at home, welcome. And live studio audience, welcome. Whoa. The audience is in darkness. We'll pull them back. We'll put some spotlights on. So welcome. My name is Barnabas. I'm the coordinator here of the 2D stream, head of 2D here at Seneca College. Now, in Seneca, in the third year, we get to make films. They let us make films. So the grads here have made 3 wonderful films, and we're going to show them to you guys for the first time. First time tonight, this afternoon, whatever time it is. Wherever you are, or if you're rewatching this, thank you for tuning in. We are Seneca 2D. Now, we couldn't have done this without all of the support of all the faculty. So number 1, let's give a big round of applause for Marc Jones, for Kurt Muller, for David Agnew, for Sean Craig, for all the coordinators who help with this. Give it up. And then let's give it up for the faculty, the mentors that helped us. Steph Ramon, and Zub, and Noam, and Matt, and Anda, and I don't have a list, so I'm gonna miss people. Ryan, but thank you so much to all the faculty. Who'd I miss? Ashley, Bluestein. And if I forgot you guys, I'm sorry, but you're no less important. And to all the faculty in the first and second year, you guys have a wonderful time and a bunch of wonderful staff. So thanks as well. Give it up for the staff. A little self-promotion here. Ryan Adams, one of the teachers here. Maybe this furry book. And there's different caricatures of me. I think he was doing it to poke insult.
They're the same picture.
But I'm very touched and also insulted at the same time. So thank you everybody, past, present, and future, for drawing me as a furry. So how is it gonna go? How's it happening tonight? This is not working. Is we're going to introduce the film with the director. The director's gonna come out. They're gonna tell you a little bit. So we have Danny standing not 5 feet from me right there. And she's gonna come. She's gonna tell you a little bit about the cartoon. We're gonna play the cartoon. And then we're gonna come back. The whole crew is gonna give you a little presentation of how it was made, because here at Seneca, we don't keep secrets. We tell all. And this behind the scenes, true lies, true love of how to make cartoons. And then each grad here is gonna show a clip that they made, and they're gonna show you or tell you the insider gossip, why it was hard, why it's near and dear to them, why they spent many sleepless nights doing it. So anyway, that's how it's gonna go. We're gonna go through those 3 cartoons, and then if you have audience questions, put them in the chat. If the chat is lit right now, if it's fire, as the kids say. Otherwise, we're gonna give it over for Danny. So give it up for Danny, the director.
Pleasure of directing and pitching the first short film that you're going to be seeing tonight. This is basically a film about a lonely girl and her weird baby radish that completely uproots her life. I'm really, really proud of the team that helped make this a reality, and thanks so much for believing in my weird little pitch. So without further ado, please enjoy Homegrown.
All right, thank you folks. Here's Homegrown. Hey, well, we don't have the right thing, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna find it. Danny, you tell them a bit more about that film. And I'm gonna find this thing. Danny, go.
Talk about it more?
Talk about it more.
Yeah, it turns out, guys, we just couldn't find you. Yeah, exactly. We were just hanging out.
Well, this is awkward, isn't it, folks? All right, as I do this, you guys, let's do slideshow first then. No, that's not a good idea. That's a spoiler. That's a bad idea. All right. Who has it on a USB? Anybody?
I have my hard drive. I got my hard drive.
I think I can grab it here. What channel is it in?
It's called. It's in the production.
Oh my
In the
god.
last one.
Final.
Yo, the stream brought to you by WeTrans. You're holding your WeTrans.
All right.
Guys, the film is the friends we made along the way.
Do you want me to bring Lizzy up?
We almost got it, so I'll just find it. Show and finder.
Yeah, exactly. It was funny the first time.
Oh, is it final version 8? I think I already have it, actually.
Wait, Barney, have you just had our like reel on your laptop for the past 6 months?
Yeah. Back. All right, we're back. Hey guys, welcome. Welcome back. We have for you the whole crew here. And so we'll pull them in and they're gonna tell you a little bit about the making of this cartoon. We're gonna go through the slides that we have today. So we're gonna go through, we're gonna tell you all about Clouded later. Got to do. Okay, so we'll pull this up. We got a real good show. I think my laptop is going to die through the studio. No, it's not gonna die. It's just gonna die because I'm running like all these different things. So it's gonna load. It's gonna load here. And come on, there you go, see? There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go and we're gonna full screen that puppy. And then you guys are gonna talk in this puppy and then you're on screen and talking at the same time. All right, so, one sec. Oh, I think we're gonna be okay. All right,
Yeah, that was Homegrown. Or
Chug, chug, chug. Yeah, so then go forward with the arrow keys as we go through here.
Sweet. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. First film, let's go. Yeah, that was Homegrown. Oh, you guys already know the synopsis. You know this was about Shell. Shell and she wants nothing more to bring some greenery into her drab city life. All that. This weird little radish guy comes into her life and flips everything upside down, but she wants to keep him safe. And you know how that went. And yeah, it was really crazy to see that we came a long way. Basically, like so many of these drawings are for my pitch, and it's crazy to see how much didn't make it, and what did, and how much things changed. It was definitely a feat. Also, there we go. Yeah, and I went through a lot of styles. I'm sure you guys saw the Leica stream. A lot of you did. I went through a lot of different styles, particularly with Shell. Bram stayed really consistent. Like every stage of his life stayed really consistent from the pitching stage. Shell was definitely somebody fun to design. I wanted to keep her like a young adult. She lives on her own. She doesn't really have that much going for her. She's kind of immature. And yeah, I can bring up the rigging team if you guys wanted to say some stuff about the rigs. Yeah, go first.
Hello, I'm Kale. I'm the lead, the lead of the rigging team, and Lizzy is my co-lead.
Hello.
I did Shell. Ashley did Baby Bram. Lizzy did Teen Bram, and Skye did Adult Bram. But we all kind of had our hands on all of them because making a rig is very hard. During the Leica live stream, we had just finished the rigs. Some of them the whole rig, some of them the front view, so we spent the next semester sort of rotating them and making them work. And it was so nice to create this puppet and to really hate it once you're done with it, and then to see everyone else use it and like it and like turn it into something you could never imagine. Like I made this thing, but seeing it actually like move and do things is really wild.
Yeah, it's really different when you're working with just still views of a character turning around, but to actually see it come to life with people animating it is like really magical, for sure.
You guys got anything to say?
Yeah, actually, I really enjoyed working on Baby Bram, and just like Kale said, I think working on him, like at the moment, it kind of seems like, how is this going to move? But when the animators take a character as small as Baby Bram and be able to make him run and laugh and do so many things is really incredible to see on screen. So congrats to our animators, they did an amazing job.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these rigs are actually done by Kristen Rogers. She
Shout
did a
out.
fantastic job. Yeah, awesome job.
All right.
All right, let's bring in.
Hand it over to the prop designer.
Oh, that's me. Hi, so I'm Ashley Fuster. I was the prop design lead, but obviously it was a team effort. So we had Faiza on the team, we had Ashley M, we have Danny had a part in this, and I believe Mindy as well had a part in designing these awesome props. Moving on to our layout lead and our art director.
Hi, my name is Faiza. I did the art direction on Homegrown. I worked on a bunch of layouts, helped design the look of the city. We went through a lot of trial and error to figure out what Shell's apartment was going to look like, what the entire cityscape was going to look like, and I had a lot of help from Mindy, who is the layout lead.
So hi everyone, my name is Mindy and I'm layout lead from Homegrown. During this layout process, it's extremely fun. Faiza designed a really fun style to work on. The lines are actually really loose, and like all the colors are from from cold to warm, and you can feel the mood from just the color. It's a really fun style to work on.
Yeah, we tried our best, and I think it turned out pretty nice. I mostly worked on the layouts from the park sequence, and it took a lot of trial and error to achieve something that felt very warm and inviting, and hopefully we achieved that. Yeah. And these are the city that Faiza designed at the beginning and the end. I think they look really cute. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Now we're going to split it back. We're going to come back here. Back to me, and then we're going to go through the different clips from different folks. So we have some clips put up. Danny is first here. So Danny, we're going to play your clip, and then we can talk about your clip as well.
Yeah, that was my favorite clip that I worked on the film. I feel really attached to it because I worked on it basically from like its very conception to like the comping that you see with like the lighting and everything. I remember staying up extremely late boarding this particular sequence, and I knew immediately that I wanted to have this shot for myself. It's really cool because it incorporates like both hand-drawn elements and rigged elements, and I was really excited to sort of dip my hands in both. Yeah, and I was quite happy. I was pretty happy the entire time I was working on it. It was just kind of indulgent, and it was. I thought it would be really tedious, but it was actually quite fun to track all of the pieces that fall, that basically like crumble. And the vines are always fun. I'm glad I was able to get at least one vine shot. Yeah, that was it. I did all the roughs. I colored it and comped it and all that. And I did record, and shout out to Skye for like recording really, really good footage from this exact angle. I was able to reference it really well. And yeah, that's it.
Great, thank you. All right, next up we got Conor. Sorry. Yeah. Shrink on down. All right, so Conor, tell us about this shot.
Yeah, so similarly like Danny's shot, I conceived this in the storyboard, and it was fun to kind of see it through every single step of the way, and I think I particularly enjoyed the challenge. Yeah, I particularly enjoyed the challenge of it just because, like sitting down and like, all right, I'm gonna animate this, but then you're like, wait, how do humans laugh again? So you kind of have to go through a lot of like iterations, as well as just shooting reference of yourself laughing to an empty room, which is not awkward at all. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. So.
Okay, next up, Ashley F.
Hi, so I'm Ashley F. I know we went through brief introductions, but I'm the production management, and I also am specializing in layout. I want to do animation eventually. I'm trying to improve, but for this shot, it became quite a challenge for me with the flower being handed off to the child, since the hands were not synced, and basically what synced hands means is the layering of the hands are not in Z-depth of like 3D layers essentially to layer the hand and sandwich it between the hand. So I had to create 3 or 4 different drawing subs just for her to hold the hand. And to have her wrap around Bram and create such a cute moment is something that was very challenging, but it's really rewarding to see it come together and be so cute. And I love this character so much. Yeah.
No. I was gonna say, tell us briefly about being the production manager on a cartoon in college where no one's paying you to be a production manager.
I would say it's so difficult to encourage people, and having the motivation all the time to be like asking people for things. There's a lot of times you're playing tag, you're like, hey, can I get this shot done? And then you wait, no response. So you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna try and wait till the next day, and hopefully they come to class, you can ask them why it's still not done. So I was really encouraging people and making sure like they were getting their shots in, and I wanted especially the team to feel that we got this done on time, which was kind of a scramble. But yeah, I think it was definitely a challenge to be production manager and have the courage to constantly ask people for their stuff. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashley.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, Evan is up. I just heard somebody say in the crowd, "That's a crazy shot."
Yeah, this was one of the craziest shots. I was one of those people that got the shots in very late. Sorry, Ashley. But yeah, my name's Evan. I'm the FX lead on Homegrown. A lot of the hand-drawn stuff in the film was either made or approved by me. This one is very much my favorite shot. I think it started like around break week, so like 6 or 7 weeks ago, and I think there are 9 versions of the shot by now. I know it looks difficult, and my group knew beforehand because the shot was called "Good Luck, Evan." But yeah, all the hard work was worth it. I'm extremely happy with how this turned out.
Now, how did you work? Because Veronica did the puppet animation, and then you did classical on top of that. So what was it like working back and forth with another animator within the same shot?
It was more like, I think I received just the roughs of the animation first. Like, the characters don't interact with the effects that much, so I was able to work on it without the rigs already being done. Like, he does do that motion, but it's just based on specific timing of when he moves up, so I was just able to work on it most of the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, great.
But yeah.
Good stuff. What was it like being the effects lead for a film like this with so much vegetation?
Oh, I think I could animate any plant growing now at this point. It's been a lot of fun.
Did you act it out at all? Plants growing?
A little bit, yeah.
What do they do?
Basically, just like sometimes when I needed to see like how a plant would ease, I would just take my arm like kind of like that, a little bit, maybe.
Okay. All right, I like it. Thanks, Evan. All right, Ashley M.
Hi, I'm Ashley M. This is the shot I was doing. I would like to talk about the background, but I also did, I was a lead for the sound. I just want to say thank you to the team for helping me, especially Conor, Danny, Ashley M, and Jason for helping, and Gage as well in the last little while. So this is my shot. I feel like the hardest part for me to get the shot right for the background was the line art. I had a bit of difficulty trying to get it to look just right, but once it was done, it turned out great, and the coloring part for me, I'm a bit faster at that, so that was a bit more easier for me to do. So yeah.
What was it like doing sound on a film like this?
It was a bit of a learning curve because I haven't really dealt with it before. I learned a lot, definitely a lot in the last few weeks. So yeah.
Perfect. Any tips for next year's crew that are doing sound?
If you know you want to do sound, I'd research beforehand, like in the summertime. If you don't, you're gonna just kind of go in and you're just gonna try to like swim above water. Hopefully you won't drown, but we'll see.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Faiza, you're up. Faiza pie.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in behind here if you want to sneak around.
Here?
Yeah, look through the cracks.
The background is not.
Yeah. I don't have a very deep philosophical reason why I chose this layout. I think it turned out really pretty, and it got very cropped in the actual final cut. And I think it encapsulates the kind of mood we were trying to go for Shell's apartment during the warm sequences. And yeah.
Now tell us about backgrounds in general. How did you guys decide on colors, on lines, on shadows?
Well, I had the realization a little while ago because Danny told me that the cityscape was vaguely reminiscent of Bob's Burgers, which was unintentional, but it's a really great thing to hear because I love Bob's Burgers. Yeah, I was just trying to develop the style Bible as best as I could. I hadn't really drawn a city before, so it was a lot of going back and forth with Mindy, Danny, and yeah, for the colors, I had done like a more orange type of thing for Shell's apartment, but we landed on purple in the end and blue for the more sad moments of the film. And in the end, the park sequence was extremely hard to get right, and it took a lot of revisions, but I think, yeah, it turned out pretty good.
All right. Thanks, Faiza.
Thanks, Marty.
Kale.
Hi. So yeah, I wanted to talk about Shell's rig again because it was my first time doing a full rotating character, let alone one literally for a production that other people are going to have to deal with. It was a challenge of meeting multiple sets of expectations, not only like mine and making something that's nice, something that I'm proud of, meeting the character design expectations, making something that works well in harmony, and making something that isn't just a giant pain in the ass for people to use. I'm really proud of what I made, and I know so many things that I can do better, so I'm just excited to make another character and try it again.
Amazing. What things did you learn by doing this that you didn't know before?
Setting up the limbs was one thing that was very interesting, the way to just sort of like break everything down. Like the hair is obviously not one piece, but how many pieces the hair is and how many different views I had to do for that was definitely interesting. Mm-hmm. It taught me a lot more about character design and how hard some characters are to rig based on design alone. Like the shoe is 7 parts. The shoe sucks. But I had fun with it. I'd rather people make characters that are hard to rig than very easy riggable characters. So.
Amazing. Thank you, Kale. Lizzy.
So yeah, this was my shot. This is the only effects shot that I had in the whole film, but I'm really proud of it because I had never like animated a plant growing before, and also this shot was also handed in very late, so sorry, Evan. But I did all the coloring and the comping for like the lighting for this shot as well, which was also mostly hand drawn. And unlike other effects, which are like really fast, usually like lightning and fire, this was really like slow to grow. So it required a lot of drawings and really trying to keep the drawings consistent when the plant is growing, you know, so it doesn't like look out of place or anything. But overall, I had a really good time, especially when it pops up at the end. I think that was really fun. And yeah, I'm just really proud of how it turned out.
Nice. Mindy time.
Hello guys. Yeah, so I wish I could show you guys more of the layout I did, but I had a really hard time picking one of my favorite. But this is one of the angle that I never really worked with before. It's more like an extreme from down shot. And yeah, I actually learned a lot from Faiza designing the style, because my original style is actually pretty close to like real stuff. And every time I try to do something like cartoony, it doesn't really look cartoony. But yeah, this one was really fun to work with. And the biggest thing I learned with this drawing is that like, at first I think all lines should be clean, straight, or perfect. But this film actually taught me that line doesn't have to be like, there's different kind of variation you can do with lines, and things can look pretty even though they are not straight.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Mindy.
Thank you.
Skye.
There we go. All right. Yes, that is my scene. And I remember looking at it in storyboard and thinking, I'm going to ignore Shell at first and just focus on this baby. Because he is going from the foreground to the, yeah, and that was struggling with it. And the first time I did it, he was just running. And then I was like, no, he's a baby. He has to waddle. And then he has to, like, he's bouncy. And so I found this shot very challenging. But in the end, I think I actually enjoyed animating it the most. And it's fun, yeah. And Shell is just, also, I believe, when Shell turns her head slowly, I think I did really well on that. It's hard turning a head, and I think I did it all right. And I'm proud of it, so yeah, and that's my shot.
now you and Conor come back for a sec here.
All right.
So you guys were in charge of animation. You guys had the toques, although Conor doesn't have his toque right now.
Sorry.
So tell us about being in charge of animation on a film like this.
Yeah, so it's essentially just kind of keeping a large-scale view of the project as it's going along and checking in with each person as they're working through their selection of shots. And then just kind of like guiding along and just kind of being a mentor along the way and just helping out. Like any problems they have, like try not to like immediately point them out, but then just be like, hey, this is really cool. What if we did this? Do you agree? Yes, no? All right, then let's find a better way to make this shot better. And yeah.
Yeah, you have to like tell them how to fix things without totally destroying their spirit and like will on like continuing. So.
Did you destroy anyone's spirit?
Yes.
I hope not.
Whose spirit?
My own, but that's like
each other's.
That was my fault. Yeah, but it was good, and like a lot of it was sometimes I helped in just like a lot of the trouble is not even animating, but just like figuring out how to like put something in front of another, and like I helped a lot with that, I think, where it was just like we didn't know how to like connect the hand or like how to like just recreate an entire image just so it can like fit with a scene that they're doing right then.
And then even just on the film as a whole, making sure, because we have 11 people animating different shots, and everyone animates a little bit differently, but trying to make it still feel like a whole cohesive thing. So
yeah,
that was a challenge, but I think it worked out pretty well.
Yeah. And another thing is whenever there was a scene that we thought could be done, usually me and Conor picked it up. So we started with a certain amount of scenes, and then it just kind of grew slowly until we have like, here's a scene, finish in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you guys for your hard work. And then lastly, we're going to pull up Veronica. All right.
Hello, I'm Veronica. I was the storyboard lead and one of the animators. And the shot that you're about to see might look familiar. So yeah, like Evan said, this is a shot that obviously took a lot of hours, and for me, I really enjoyed this because it was the blood, sweat, and tears on both ends of storyboard and with animation. So for those who don't know, when you're doing kind of a 3D move in 2D space, it's all just an illusion because there's no actual camera moving around. So it really depends on how you rotate everyone to kind of give the illusion that you are moving around the crowd. And it was a challenge, but also a lot of fun to track all of those. I feel like I know all those people. So yeah, it was all the people, the grass, the buildings, and it really was a team effort from everyone creating the rigs and the background, and of course Evan's wonderful effects. Just seeing it all come together was really rewarding.
Totally. Now, if you've seen the top corner, it's the storyboard, and then what we had you guys do to, as well as act the stuff out. So
yes.
You were acting this stuff out as well when he was growing?
Yes, I did the acting. Thank you, Mom, for being Shell while I was Bram.
So then when you're doing the acting and basically pretending you are a giant radish that's raising the roof here, doing this all semester, did you learn anything? Was it getting easier at the end without the acting, with the acting?
I think it got easier as we went on. Just seeing the payoff that you get from acting it out helps you want to put in the time, and also for a shot like this, it was I don't think I could have done it without shooting that reference. So also shout out to my husband who was the camera as we were trying to shoot the reference. So it was I could really see the necessity of shooting that reference.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Great job on that. So that's it for the Homegrown team. Give them another big round of applause, folks. Yeah. Go, scamper. So we're gonna pull up the director of the next one. Marc, if you would come on up.
Let's go, Marc!
Let's go, Marc! I might have to raise the camera.
I think it's fine. I'm short enough.
Okay. All right, so tell us a bit about this crazy short.
All right, so End of the Line is a film about a young woman named Taylor who suffers from general anxiety disorder. One day on the subway, she loses her comfort item that she uses to ground herself and to deal and defend against her condition. When she loses it, she suffers an anxiety attack and is transported into a strange new world and is confronted with the physical embodiment of her anxiety.
Nice, thank you. Thank you, Marc. So we're going to jump into this, and then we're going to come right back with the team and learn a little bit more behind the scenes. Let's see if I played the like of this time. Please don't. All right, let's turn these lights down in here. Here, do this. Get this done. We're gonna hit play. And we're back! Wow, what a great film. We had a good reaction here. Let's throw it back to the audience. Audience, give us a round of applause. Amazing. All right, we're back and we're gonna go through some slides, I think, with the team here. So we're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna pull up Marc and the team too. And Marc, tell us a little bit about this cartoon too, how it all came to be. So, I'm going to jump through. I'm gonna open up the calendar for no apparent reason. All right.
Yes, it is today.
And we're right on schedule. It's happening. All right. All right.
Thanks for watching Homegrown, guys.
Untitled pitch. Loading it up. Look at all my downloads. All right, so that's almost there. So let's bring the crew in here. So Marc, come on in. As this is happening. Just awkwardly come here. Real nice and close.
At least the camera's set to your height.
Okay, so then you're gonna work the slides with the arrows there.
Okay, for sure. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So I think the first thing I wanted to say was that I remember early on I talked about having a goal for this film, and it was that I wanted us to have something at the end of the year that we could all be proud of, and I think we've achieved that goal. So first things first is End of the Line is a film about anxiety or general anxiety disorder, which is something that I've dealt with my entire life. It's dedicated to like everyone that has dealt with anxiety and anything related to that. I remember I remember thinking about going to baseball practice and wondering why I felt like crap all the time while everyone else seemed to have fun. And it wasn't until like my 20s I realized that it was because of this condition that I had. So that's why that was the main goal, or that was the thing that really inspired me to make this film. And so in saying that, this film is, of course, about this girl who deals with anxiety. And the major theme is that oftentimes these fears are not as rational as we believe it to be, and it turns out to not be as bad as we thought it was going in. So that's all I wanted to say about that. So I will move on to the next slide. Which I thought it was these arrows. There's only like one set of arrows.
There you go.
Okay.
There we go.
So is it the arrows?
Yeah.
Okay. So we already saw the film and talked a little bit about it. So let's move on. Okay, I have no idea what I'm Barney, this is okay, there we go. All right.
I guess it's lagging.
Okay, so this is our color script. Rory, you want to come over and talk a little bit about it?
Yep, so I'm Rory. I'm the art director for End of the Line, and this is the final version of the color script. There's a version before, but yeah, this is the final one. Since this is a film about anxiety and mental health, I really wanted to convey that through the colors and get the audience to really kind of be in the moment with her. You can see like a lot of intense reds in the middle, and it's like slightly a bit more desaturated in the beginning. Thank you, Ashley, for that feedback as well. In the end, I wanted like more twinkly, kind of warm, like city lights to give like more relaxing feeling. Yeah, so it's, where's the next one?
Arrow key.
Arrow key? Okay.
But which arrow key?
There you go, that's the one. Is it? Good.
Oh, wait, which one? Okay, there we go. Okay, so to achieve the paint style, for the layout team, had like a lot of guides, because to get the look to be consistent, I really had to break down the process I used for the original paintings I did for location design and like BizDev, and really to get it standardized like across the board and also achievable for people who may not have experience in like this kind of style. Yeah. And talk about the rigging. Yeah.
Hi, so my name is Christine. I'm the rigging lead, and actually, shout out to Nich because Nich did rig Zipper Map. So Kelvin and I work on Taylor. Kelvin mainly helped me with the master controllers because I was having troubles with it. But yeah, it was very challenging to rig a complicated character. Bless you.
Right, the master controller. Our character has it's a very anime style kind of face, so it's a bit difficult in like to like consistently maintain the style of her face. So we decided that a master controller would be best to control her face for everyone else. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Oh.
I guess I'm at the bottom.
Next slide.
Marc.
Okay, so we obviously didn't get the memo that we were going to be showing the clips, so we put them in our slides. I guess, do you want us to wait for the actual clips because we put our clips in the slides?
Well, whatever you want. Just play them in the slides then, like this.
Okay. All right. So first thing I want to do is this scene was a lot of fun to work on. It started off with us not knowing at all how to achieve it. So we a big shout out to Christian. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Catano and Luke Chiatano. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. And sorry, Christian. And Luke Hawley, who stepped in, alumni who stepped in and really helped us at the very beginning. We were trying to get a bearing on this scene. It's a special scene to me for a number of reasons, but the biggest reason is I got a chance to work with some of my best friends on this that were not in the 2D stream. So a shout out to Sin, Madison, and Dara, as well as Kevin and everyone else that were involved in this. So Madison will talk a little bit more about the 3D aspect of this in a bit, but I also wanted to talk about Dara's amazing background here that really I thought brought it all together in the end. And it is 13 layers of madness that he threw together for us in like a weekend. Like, the guy is crazy. But yeah, so the challenge of this scene for the 2D animation was trying to match her running with the environment that was moving at the same time. So the strategy I took on was to try to straight ahead it every single pose. Because we were trying to make sure that we were locking her feet down into the ground and her hand into the right spot. And I also felt like it was giving it more of a traditional feel versus a rig puppet animation feel. And so in doing so, I'm very happy with the results, and I'm very proud of everyone. This is a hell of an undertaking, and everyone that was involved with it, I'm so very proud to have worked with you, and it was incredibly humbling and enjoyable experience. And sorry, I was going to stop there, but I guess I have more of my animation down there that I worked on, and then I also helped populate the scenes by adding some passengers in there, and then you may recognize these, or you may not recognize the one on the bottom right there, or bottom left, and the one in the middle, but you'll get to learn about them soon. And then the guy in the right corner, or the bottom right corner, he's standing right there. But yeah, those were also rigged by Nich, because Nich, you're a legend. But thank you. So I'll move on to the next. Ooh, okay, if I can get this. Okay, okay, I went back. All right, perfect. All right,
Okay, so I'm Madison. I was a 3D lead, so I was in charge of, making this look good. So obviously we worked with Rory at the beginning. We got some assets and some views of the train, and we knew what it was supposed to look like, and we had a crack modeling team. So thank you guys for helping out and modeling the train, whoever you are. And after that, it came time for texturing. So we worked a lot with Steve and worked with the AI Toon shader, as well as other things that just didn't work out. But
you'll see there's like a tone map up there, which is like the main source of the texture. So there's no like colored lights in the scene. Instead of a gradient, it just jumps from the red to the blue to the black, and it gives it that 2D effect, which I thought was really cool. So I guess in the end, we just sort of added some more like gradients, some more noise on there, and then we put it on some render layers, as you'll see on the right side. So there's the background, and then there's the foreground, and we essentially just sandwiched Taylor in the train as like a PNG sequence. And then we put Dara's background behind it, which is like really cool. But yeah, there's the 3D scene. Okay, sorry.
Of course.
Okay, so these are some backgrounds I did for the film. You might see the first one, you see like a little bit of it, but some graffiti there. And on the bottom, was it? Bottom left is the title sequence. It was kind of a continuation from one of the original like thumbs I did for the board for like the opening, and it like stayed until the end. I wanted to add some effects in there for like atmosphere. And I also went in there and like painted the train for like each of the frames, also using the guides I did. Yeah, and there's the cityscape. I wanted to have like, I didn't think of like the warm lights at first, but Marc was also, I also had a sunset version, but Marc really wanted it to be like nighttime since that's most calming for him. So I wanted to really emphasize like the warm glow of the lights in the city. Yeah, and that's also the BG for one of the scenes animated by Nich. It's so cool.
Nich again.
Yeah, so I wanted to make it like really dynamic, like pump up those like blacks and yeah, make it really angular.
Cool.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Woodrow. I'm not a Seneca student. I was brought in to do the sound design for End of the Line, kind of at the last hour. Not literally, but yeah, I came in and I was basically, when I came in, a lot of it was still kind of the Leica, so I had to kind of add sound to that. And then as more of the animation came in, I had to really mess around with the timing. But my favorite thing that I did was Zipper Mouth and the noises that he makes. So when I originally talked to Marc, he wanted sort of airy breathing, like not sort of like monster sounds. But then when one of the first pass-throughs was listened to by Barney and the rest of the team, they really wanted more to it. They wanted to emphasize the sort of scary monster aspect. And somehow the suggestion of like an alligator was brought up, like this sort of deep rumbling monster sound that wasn't really like dinosaur, and it wasn't like Silent Hill, so went for alligator. And I freaking love alligators, so I was really happy that that was what they wanted me to do, because I get to listen to alligator sounds all day. And it was a lot of fun. It was a little difficult finding alligator sounds just because when alligators bellow, they tend to do it in the water. So there was a lot of bellowing sounds and then like water splashing that I had to work around so that you didn't hear water splashing in the actual film itself. I also have to mention that I didn't do the music. The music was done by Leah Hidalgo, who is so freaking talented throughout the entire process. And so it was a little challenging because I had to match a lot of the sound effects to like the beats in her music, and I had to make sure that the sound effects didn't take away from the music. So there is a sequence at the very end where Taylor, who's the main character, is like reaching out to Zipper Mouth, and a lot of it is very quiet because I wanted to emphasize the music that was like amazing. And yeah, so that was me. I did the sound design. You can see my very messy Adobe Audition tracks. And I think one of my other favorite things about doing the sound was just seeing everyone's reactions to it. I don't do sound professionally. I do it as a hobby, but I have experience editing podcasts and like short films anyways. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. And this was actually my first time doing sound for like an animated thing. And it was definitely a challenge because there's a lot of unknowns when you're doing sound for an animation that's still being made. So, you know, when I did the first rough draft, and I sent it in and it was like, yay, this is perfect. Then I got all the updated animation and it was like, oh my god, nothing matches anymore. So it was definitely a learning curve, but it was so much fun. And oh my god, it was so amazing. Everything turned out great. The team is fantastic. So yes, give a round of applause for everyone.
There you go.
There you go. Mindy!
Hello, it's me again. Yes, I'm also Leia for End of Line, and Ashley is my co-lead. So when I started working on this film, I have to be honest, I didn't expect how fun it would be, like, because all the background is taking place in just one location. But the more I work on it, the more I realize all this different angle can have so much different kind of feeling to give the audience, but even it's just one location. And definitely thanks to Rory to creating such a like fun style to work with. Yeah.
Cool.
So I was the co-layout lead on this film. It was super fun to work on. These are just some of the layouts that I did. They're quite challenging, and I think I really enjoyed the challenge of how detailed these actually are. Because if you go and like you zoom really far in, I had to draw those little tiny handles in the back, which, you know, just because I wanted to look as amazing as possible. This was so cool to see this come together on the screen with the character. The other one that I did that I'm really proud of that Jonathan animated was there's the whole moving background. I had to actually draw through every single layer in order for us to achieve that. So I think it's super cool to see this come together, painted and everything. So yeah.
That frame rate is garbage. Hi, I'm Jonathan. This is my shot. So I don't like rigs at all, but they're fun to work with when it's a character as appealing as Taylor. And I really, really, really wanted to draw some animation by hand. So I hand drew the hand in this shot. Double entendre, I guess. So it was really, really fun to merge both hand-drawn and rigged animation in such a massive way. It's a pretty long take as well. And the reference footage was just my hand. I mean, probably guess that, but it was a really, really hard shot to work with as well, because if you get revs on a hand-drawn shot, you then have to go back and redo a lot of it. So there was a lot of that timing-wise, adding frames, adding drawings, and even still there are some places where I'd still add drawings towards the end to make it more fluid, but I just got so sick of this shot. Not gonna lie. But I'm really, really, really happy with the way that it turned out, and I'm really glad that I got to do some hand-drawn animation, because it's like really what I'm stronger at. But I also really liked working with Taylor and all the rigs with regards to the earbuds and stuff, because that's another rig. The earbud is a separate rig. And just working with props in a scene is something that I had never done. I don't think any of us had ever done prior to third year. So it's a massive, massive learning curve trying to figure out how to put props in a scene and rig and animate them in accordance to everything else in the scene. So yeah, it was a really fun shot to work with. Also, I'm production manager. I forgot to mention that. So that's a thing too. So yeah, that's about it.
Where's the camera? Yeah, so that's my shot. This also has a 3D element, so sort of like Marc's shot, but I guess not as interesting, huh? But this was like, out of all the shots I worked on, I think this one was the most fun because of the 3D element. As you see on the gray one, that's like how I first started. The hands actually were not in there in the beginning. I sort of added that afterwards because, you know, like staring at a door is sort of just boring. So yeah, I added the hands in. Shout out to Kelvin for rigging those hands like in like a day because I didn't really want, as much as I love hand-drawn animation, I wouldn't want to be like Jonathan and just draw it. Yeah. So yeah, those hands really came in handy. Yikes. So yeah. Also, I'm storyboard lead and animation lead as well, so a lot of the suffering might be my fault. So yeah. Okay, yeah, I don't know how to work this either.
It's just the arrow keys. There you go, Kelvin, switch.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, as I was saying, for a rig, I mainly worked on her head. It's a painful process of just slowly going for her head to make it tween nice, so everyone can use her head. And yeah, this is my favorite part of the film. It's also, for me, it's like the hardest part of my shots, because it's like, first of all, the perspective, we're looking up at her, so I have to draw her I have to draw her like the up perspective. And another painful thing is, as you can see, is me falling over for reference. Believe it or not, I was so like, it was painful, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I would fall multiple times. The cushions did not help at all. So yeah.
Is that your director helping you shoot that?
Oh yeah. Marc was like helping me. I was like, push me, Marc, push me. Yeah. Also, I rigged the props. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Christine. I'm back. I wanted to talk about my animation shot. So this one actually has a lot of rigs in it, and I picked this shot because Barney said it's beautiful. Flex. Oh, I'm joking. So in this shot, actually, Nich again rigged as a character. Thank you so much, Nich. And Kale also did something for us. Thank you so much, Kale. So yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rigs in here. The bag is also rigged. Rigged by Alex and I. And the keychain plush too, rigged by Kelvin. And Taylor rig, Kelvin and I work on it. And the layout, Christine's layout is actually so insane too. And yeah, it's really challenging to make Taylor interact with the other passengers as well. And I was torn between, should I animate the passengers or will it take more attention from Taylor? So I guess I did a good job. I guess Barnabas is beautiful, so yeah.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alex. I'm the bad guy. So I helped with story and props. I chose this shot because solid animation. It's kind of hard to. It was hard to convey solid animation of her uncomfortability in like the scene, and there's a lot of versions for me going back and forth with it. I think it was like 16. But I'm happy how it turned out so far, and yeah. Thank you for enjoying the film. Am I pressing the right button?
Yeah, you're good, you're good.
Okay, cool.
It just takes a long time.
It's me.
Hi, I'm Nat. I worked on story development, character design, animation, and layout on the film. I'm very tired. A lot of what I did in the initial parts of the first semester was working with Jonathan and coming up with a final design for Zippermouth. Taylor had a pretty set and solid design, but Zippermouth started off as this weird amalgamation of just like fabric and
chains and a fox head on the end of it. And it's a really creative design, but no way in God we were going to animate that. So we had to sort of brainstorm a bunch of ways of making a fox scary. And me and Jonathan went back and forth a lot on his design, and he originally was going to come out of a backpack. So how do we handle a character without legs? How do we make him scary? Very early on, we started developing this Jim Carrey the Mask sort of smile on him with the zipper teeth, and then eventually the bag was scrapped, so we went with a more lycanthropic sort of look to him with the legs, worked in the proportions, all that kind of fun stuff. I did some other just concept art. Some ideas that came and went. We had shadow passenger ideas, so I drew this creepy guy with the single eye. Didn't end up doing shadow passengers, but it was fun to draw. And a lot of the animation I did some of the earlier scenes and then some of the nightmare scenes, which are really fun. Taylor's rig was really challenging to work with because there was a lot of times where you have to integrate the bag into her animation, and the bag being a completely separate rig sometimes just did not want to play nice. I love the bag. I hate the bag rig, I'm sorry. It's a good rig, I just hate it. And getting it to Z-depth properly with everything and layer nicely was a bit of a challenge, especially when you're messing around with her sleeves and her hair and you're making sure everything lines up. But in the end, it all came together really nicely, and I'm so proud of this team. We did a fucking great job.
Okay. So, yeah, this is the final iteration of the train design. If you were here for the Leica, you might have saw some earlier visual development for it. But this is the final. I have the flat views there for the 3D team to use. Yeah, and also to reference for scale, since it's interesting because it's such a lot of inorganic shapes and a lot of really, the layouts are challenging, so I wanted to have a good reference point for people to just okay, I don't know how long this is, I can just pop this in and I can check and measure. So I want to have that there for reference. And yeah, it was interesting coming up with different textures too. I want to convey kind of a more comic book feeling. I'm sure you can see that in the style and some of the board and color keys, using some screen tones, some splatter texture. Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Next one.
Nice. Let's throw it to the audience. Audience, do you guys have any questions for any of these guys? Throw a couple of audience questions out here. Anybody? Anybody? No.
Pretty good film, no questions.
Question up there, yes.
Did they take the TTC here?
Yes.
All the time.
What's a TTC?
Yep, you back there.
How long did it take to make your master controller for the
Oh man.
back and forth man. I had to give it to Kelvin.
That was
Said how-
technically 4 days, but 4 days doing nothing but that.
It's a really good
Good question. Anybody else?
I have a question. Over here.
Yes.
Sorry. So in terms of the 3D shot with the train, you guys, so from what I've gathered, you essentially started with the 3D, then went to 2D, and then finished the 3D off of comp. Is that correct? Or explain to me kind of the step-by-step process.
Marc, that's all you.
So,
Marc, come on over here, please.
Marc and Madison.
Okay. So the process was a little bit touch and feel as we go. We started off with just the train model that we. There we go. I'll just leave. I'm sorry.
There you go. Center yourselves.
There we go. All right. So we started off with just the train model and the camera move, and I started blocking in the run. And eventually it was sort of just a process of waiting on different parts coming in and out.
It's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
With, like texturing and like, how do you feel about this? I'd be like, I don't like it, but okay, I'll change it. And then rigging obviously came later on because we had to like get the texturing down first, and then it was just a matter of like, which angle do you want it to turn? And then you'll be like, no, we need to go bigger. I'll be like, okay, re-render it. Rendering was a lot. It was a really hot room.
It was
taking up like 8 computers.
waiting a few days for the renders to all go through.
So sorry.
No. But no, it was crazy. I think the hardest part was the beginning because we didn't have, like, she's supposed to run in from another train, run in from another car, and that car is like turning and straightening itself out. But we didn't have that. We just had the straight train that was turning in the camera move. So I remember just having her, she was just like running through the wall into the next train, and it was tough to try to like, okay, like what angle does she need to run in so it doesn't look weird in the final film. And we did kind of have to break the 3D a little bit because I had the angle a little bit too steep at the start. But it was a lot of fun. It really was a lot of fun. Like every time I needed something or I wanted something, I asked Madison, and even if Madison didn't know how to do it, she learned how to do it, and it was, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun. So that answers your question.
It's a great learning experience. Toot shader.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Audience, one last question. Anybody? Yes? No? No! We don't want to hear. Okay. Okay then. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to pull up our final director for the evening. Or not. Depends on if he'll come up. Let's give a round of applause. Aidan, come on up. Aidan.
Jeez, okay. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. I'm the director of Clouded. My name is Aidan. And yeah, this is the film you're about to watch right here. It follows Wendy, who's this like cloud girl that lives up in the sky, and one day she drops one of her prized possessions down to the earth, and it falls into the hands of this stubborn little farm boy. And yeah, it's just a little silly, goofy movie about their interaction, and I can't wait for you guys to see it.
All right, here we go, folks. Clouded. liked it. They liked it. Well, give it another round of applause, folks. All right, we're firing it back up. I gotta do everything around here. All right, come on in, folks. Come on in, Aidan and the gang.
Get in here.
And we're gonna queue up your slides here. In theory.
It's all bunched together.
In theory. Boop, 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 boop. And we're gonna go to slides. All right, use the buttons, they might work.
Marc was right. No, this is complicated. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that was our film. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, okay. Oh, thanks. This is the crew, drew little pictures of them, but yeah, just wanted to like first and foremost just like say a big thank you to these guys, because like honestly sometimes I think about like the butterfly effect of like what would happen if even like one of these guys were not in the team, and like it would have been a completely different film, much like worse. But so yeah, no, honestly, like a huge thank you to these guys. Yeah, so this is the synopsis, and it's also like pretty crazy to think that like a couple months ago, like this is kind of all we had to work off of, and like seeing like what we've been able to build from this has been like really rewarding and like super cool. But yeah. Oh. I think, there we go. Oh, okay, cool. These are just a few little shorts that, or like films and TV shows that inspired us. Just a lot of like very, very animated cartoons, SpongeBob of course, Pocoyo, the Mickey Mouse Show, just a bunch of things we like, and we hope they kind of came across in the short. But yeah, on to storyboard.
Hi everybody, I'm Jordan. I was the storyboard lead. You guys probably all saw, most of you saw the Leica. So these are just some of my favorite shots from it, and I think literally everybody on the team did a shot on storyboard, so shout out to everyone, and yeah, came through at the end.
Hi, my name is Angelie. I'm the character design lead. So creating Wendy and Reggie was like super fun. Coming up with like different outfits for them and like trying to encapture like their personality and their design was really fun. Coming up with design, everyone sort of helped brainstorm ideas, and I combined everything together to create this. And yeah, here are some of like the older designs of it. After Toon Week, we did tweak the designs a little bit to make them more riggable, and yeah. Here's like the final character lineup, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. Okay. Here's some of the props I did. Yeah. Oh.
I didn't do too much location design. I did more layout. I did kind of tweak the farm, but this is all Leana. So I helped with the colors, but more or less, I just did revisions on this. The next slide. Okay, there we go. This is all me. Like, still a location was already set, but I kind of came up with the general background style. It was really like tricky because Aidan has a very like specific style, and I wanted to keep with it but still make it like fun for the animation. And I also had to keep in mind that this is not like a really serious film, so all the colors still have to be bright and fun, but also not overwhelming. So it was really nice. We did like filters for the colors, so we did everything in the daytime palette and then just changed around the sky and the filters for everything, so that it was really easy to make adjustments if we needed to, which was a really good idea because we did need to make adjustments. And then I'm gonna talk about this scene a little later, but this is just like one of the biggest pans in the show, so that was a challenge to take on. But yeah, that's all the layout stuff.
Hello, my name is Jason. You probably saw me at the Leica thing. If you didn't, hi, I'm Jason. I was in charge of doing like the general color palette. We did a kind of mood board effectively for the entire film. We started with a very neutral daytime palette, moved into a more gloomy kind of overcast palette that's more blue because the mood became more blue. And then moved into a more magenta, kind of happy, Steven Universe-esque palette toward the end. One of the things I think that I learned most through doing this is it's not enough to change the background of the scenes. You also need to have the characters kind of harmonize with it as well. So if you have the backgrounds changed, the characters have to kind of filter as well. Otherwise it'll look like a weird, why are these characters not lit the same way as the background? They don't kind of belong here. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. Those are examples of what I did.
Let's go Nich. Go Nich.
My name is Nich. I am the rigging lead for Clouded. You can see up there some of the rigs I did. Wendy, Reggie, I did the bird, and I also did the telescope on the bottom there. I just want to give a huge shout out to Wang, who did the Reggie's telescope, the cardboard tube on the top there. And also for Jason and everybody else who helped me with rigging of props and stuff on this film. And it's been a great experience. If you don't know what rigging is, it's essentially taking Angelie's beautiful designs and making little puppets of them so we can actually make them move. So just like End of the Line, we also had master controllers on pretty much all of these. For the telescopes, we had simpler master controllers, and we had like ones that made us so we can move the heads on the characters. And yeah, it was a really awesome learning experience, and it was really great making rigs that could be like really adaptable. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't make the 3D model, but it was my shot to do the 3D flying scene. So communicating with the 3 people we had for this, just 3 people doing the 3D for this one scene and then 1 animator was a lot, because just matching something that the way it looks on a 2D plane in like 10 frames per second because it's a storyboard, and then getting that to like a 3D model. It's very easy to draw something and make it look correct, but it's very hard to model something and make it look exactly like the drawing. So shout out to Electra, Christine, and Vahan. Yeah, this scene was a lot in the making. Thank you so much, especially to Electra, the amount of sleep that they lost just trying to make this model. And then towards like the final hour, we were struggling with the camera, and Christine came in, and within like 2 hours, she fixed all our issues. Yeah, shout out to that.
Hi again. I also did the effects, well, not all of them, but I did, I was effects lead on the film, and so basically, Aidan drew up these designs on the top, and he was like, "Yo, Jordan, make these move." And I was like, "All right, I'll try." So shout out to like we had a ton of people doing effects. Basically, everyone in the film I think did some. Luce did the tornado scene, which was absolutely, I was gonna say Aidan's catchphrase, but I don't think it's appropriate here. As Aidan would say, balls out crazy. Yeah, but what's it called? Yeah, it's an effects heavy film because there's a rainbow, there's a tornado, there's wind, lightning, clouds. So yeah, I don't know. I had a ton of fun doing it. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Luce. I did a lot of hand-drawn animation on Wendy. Yep.
Let's go, Luce!
Hi. I was also a comp lead. I would like to say, but I'm going to be very real with you. Nich did a lot of the heavy lifting. It was kind of.
We were comp co-leads.
Yeah, co-leads.
Yeah.
It's for those who don't know what comp is, it's the end stage of the animation where everything gets fed into a funnel and shot out to look good through lots of node views and lighting techniques and the like. We turn a shot from what's on the left here, a PNG on top of other PNGs, into a cloud scene to lie to you. Also with this, again, the darker scenes, Nich kind of knows harmony a lot better than I do, but we kind of work together.
I'm the harmony IT guy.
Yeah, he's the harmony IT guy. So we worked together to make sure that the shots looked well and more importantly worked well, so that there wasn't a lot of popping. Towards the end, we were doing a lot of hand-drawn shadows, which is really, really grueling, but Nich made sure that all of that was seamless and nice.
Yeah.
Barno, can I say something?
Yeah.
Real quick.
Here's Zub, and he's going to talk.
Hey, just for 2 seconds here. So in 5th semester...
Come here there,
I guess
sweetie.
I know the camera thing, sorry.
From the top.
From the top, oh no.
From the top, here, we'll move this out.
So in 5th semester, the students, come here. The students, put together their ideas for these films. They pitch them in my class and have to convince the other teams what they're going to be doing, how this is all going to work. And I tell them every single second, every shot that they put in those Leica reels, they're gonna bleed for them. They're gonna work really, really hard. When Barney first brought this idea of doing films for the 2D stream, I was coordinator of the program, and I said, this is a terrible idea because it's going to kill you because it's so hard to get these things finished. And the first couple of years were bloody. There was a lot of difficulty. Every single year, they get better, they get stronger, and I could not be more proud of these crews. So give it up for everyone and give it up for Barney. That was
awesome. Yeah, what's making a cartoon without a few late nights, I'd say. It ain't no thing. All right, let's throw it to the audience here for a couple of questions, and then we are done here. So, audience, anything you guys want to talk about? What? Oh, the shots. All right, fine. All right, first shot is by Aidan. Here we go.
That was my shot, or one of them. It was pretty hard. It was like, I think it was like 470 something frames, like 80% of it was on ones, and like, if you've ever like worked with a rig, you'll know that it can be quite challenging to like throw stuff into perspective or like foreshorten stuff, just because like naturally rigs are very like static, flat on, and that was all this shot was, was like turning a regular like standing rig into like a like this. It was really hard, and like tweening it too just broke everything, but it didn't break me. I'm glad. Oh, and yeah, shout out to Alex and Jordan for the effects on this shot. That was great. Yeah.
Nice, thanks Aidan. All right, Jason, you're up next. Come on. Come on, little finger.
Right. I didn't animate that shot, but what I did do was the sound design. The entire film was me in studio doing sound, plugging away at hundreds and hundreds of audio tracks to make sure that things worked contextually. Yeah, I learned a lot from doing sound for animation. One of the things being learning when to kind of pull sound back. The thing that I really wanted to focus on for this shot specifically in terms of sound was kind of that big impact. Like, what did Wendy just do? She just tried to strike a child. That's crazy. So how do I convey that with sound? Well, you put a big explosion and then nothing to kind of contemplate what you just did. It was really fun kind of working. We did 5.1 surround kind of as our basis, so it was really interesting kind of mixing like that. I used to do music production before, so I'm used to working with 2 speakers and I have to work with 5 and a subwoofer. That's crazy. It was a really interesting experience, and like learning how to use sounds outside of their context is kind of really fun. I definitely suggest learning it if you have free time.
What's that?
Jordan.
Okay, so this shot holds the record for most versions. We got to V29 of this.
How many rigs?
How many rigs? There are 8 rigs in this scene. There are 6 Wendys for each little transition, 2 for the palettes, obviously the telescope, and Nick? I can't remember.
No, you got them all.
I got them all? Okay. All right. This is a very much a collaborative effort shot. Nick did the slow-mo transitions because I tried and I was like gonna blow my brains out. So I was like, no. So yeah, big shout out to Nick for that. Leana helped me a lot with the posing. She bordered the scene to get like the foreshortening and everything right. And then I chose this shot, like when we were first picking shots for everyone, I was like, I'm doing this one because I was like, this is gonna be cool and I'm gonna make it cool. So I think it's cool. I mean, like when she slaps the ground, I was like, let's just go all out, and that's what we got. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is my shot. This is the shot right before Aidan's gigantic flight sequence. I picked this one because for me personally, all my shots in this film were really depressing. My bulk of the animation was in the gloomy sequence when she's crying. So when I got the shot, I was like, yes, I can like animate something happy and like not wanna like go back in my bed and cry. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And it was also a really good learning experience for me just because for my past like 2 years of animating, I've just been really into just like really snappy like Looney Tunes type of animation, and I never really got around to like play with subtle facial acting. So that was definitely really fun to mess around with, and yeah.
Luce.
I did a lot of hand-drawn Storm Wendy. To be honest, I really struggled first semester just with like finding my place on like the team and with the film and all that, and like I think this scene was a turning point because I think I found some confidence in what I was doing, and I think the team recognized that because they trusted me a lot with this character. So, yeah.
Nick.
All right. So yeah, this is the scene that I chose. It is long, to say the least. It's 441 frames, mercifully with some holds. But I think what was most challenging for me with this shot was actually that there's a lot of different emotions that you're running through and like different thoughts that you want to convey. And I'm very used to a very like lots of easing. So I had to kind of kill my darlings a bit with this shot and lean into that snappier style of animation and channel my inner like Wile E. Coyote for these reactions. But it was really rewarding. It's really nice seeing the character like come to life on the screen, and yeah, that's it.
Wang, you're up.
Wang, come on up.
Wang, come on down.
I just did on this layout. Yeah, I tried a couple times, and Leana and they helped me. Yeah, fix a couple things. That's it.
And Sam. Whoop whoop. You're kind of hidden behind here.
Alright, yeah. Okay, it's like a lot wider. That's okay, you can fill in the blanks. It's a big pan. Basically, it's just a whole lot of clouds. It was like, like 4 PSDs that were like kind of like, we did like one big sky and then a bunch of little clouds all exported as single PNGs, and then they were all compiled in Harmony, and it was, the shot itself is not that difficult to paint, because just a bunch of clouds, once you know how to do one, they're kind of all pretty similar. But what was difficult was actually imagining how the shot was gonna look as one big pan, because it starts with like a really big truck and then you go through the clouds, and then you weave through the clouds, and then it's like a big shot of the field, and so that was just really tricky to figure out, and now when I close my eyes, I just see clouds. Yeah, that's it.
All right, now we can throw it to the audience. Questions for these guys before we call it quits? Osaze didn't submit anything?
I did.
Well, I didn't get it then.
He did the kick-ass 3D shot.
That was really good. Hiram.
Do you want to just scrub through that one then?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Tell us about that.
Okay. That was my favorite shot, but anyway, yeah, it was a good shot. And just, I think the collaborative effort of just working with so many people to get that shot done was my favorite part of it. The animation was pretty simple, admittedly, like for the characters, because I didn't have to care too much about like gravity or weight, because they're just kind of like flying through. But yeah, that shot did kill me a little bit, just because I remember just 9-hour calls on Discord talking about how to make it work with the 3D, and just, but yeah, it was a good shot. And immediately following after Aidan's like incredible, just long shot, and finally adding that transition at the end where the clouds reveal, I feel like that's what really made it come together with the film. Because before that, it just kind of looked like it happened. But yeah, no, I like that shot. It was good. It was good.
All right, audience, any questions for these cloudies? Yeah?
Nick, did you sleep? Did you sleep?
No.
Will you sleep?
Will Nick sleep? Possibly. We'll never know. Will be determined. Yeah, up there.
So the expressions were like really fun, and you like how you pushed them so much in all of the shots. I was just wondering how you were able to go create these extreme expressions, but then still keep it cohesive with all the animators and with the rigs as well.
Sure. I mean, I feel like the.
Come on, going over.
Wait, where do I get? Okay. There we go. I feel like the rigs really, it really comes down to how well like Nick made the rigs. I think the master controllers are a great thing to fall back on because you could like distort the phase, do all this stuff, and then you just touch the master controller and it pops right back to exactly like how it should look. So that was definitely like allowed us to really like push the expressions of every shot and like be able to compare to how it looked in like the grand scheme of everything else. Yeah.
Good. Another question up there.
You guys had a lot of really good goofs and gaffes that I feel like all landed really well. I was
Thank
wondering,
you.
is there any jokes that you had a hard time getting to read for the audience from support to animation?
I can take this one. Yeah. So that bird shot was completely different originally, and I essentially like when I started animating, I was like I did a first pass. I was like I don't know if this is funny. So I actually went back and forth with these guys, and they were great, like to bounce ideas off of. And we came up with this idea where like the telescope kind of catapults into the bird nest and launches the bird. And yeah, I really that was one of my favorite shots, just because of that kind of input that I had in that one. So yeah, it was just a lot of back and forth, and like, guys, is this funny? And yeah.
It's like, no, I've seen it 10 times. Nothing's funny anymore. No, that was also the case of like a lot of the shots that are so minor. Even like Wendy's little like scrunch of her face, like 9 different like back and forths on that one. A lot of the jokes we just had to like keep going over and over again. But yeah, it's like what Nick said. It's just like a lot of back and forth.
All right, one more question. Who's gonna be? Yes.
How do you know what kind of personality and vibe you wanted it to be, and how did you know how to keep it consistent with so many different people working on it?
Oh yeah. Actually, it's like funny you said it, because like originally this film was supposed to be a lot more like heartfelt than it was, which would have kind of sucked. I don't know. I feel like there was a point. There was like a turning point before the Leica stream where I think it was Barney that was just like, you guys need to like start having more fun with this film. Like there's like a lot of potential here that can be like expanded upon, and it kind of just like, I think we stopped like kind of worrying about what we were limited to and just like what would be fun to do. And I think in doing so, a lot of our personality started coming into the film, and it just became a silly, goofy little film.
Yeah. Great. Great questions. Thank you so much. Well, that's it. That's it for us here at Seneca2D.com. If you guys want to watch the Leicas, everyone's like, you guys watch the Leicas. You're like, I don't even know what a Leica is, man. If you go back to the live stream before, then you can see that around Christmas time where we play them. It's black and white moving pictures, and you can compare the two. They're kind of fun. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody that came here live. Give it up again for everybody that's here. And we'll see you around.